This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brooks Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brooks Bloom's three-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey, where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.
This podcast is presented by Tab. Best time in sport with the best app in sport.
G'day everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Ads and Dunks podcast, and I'm super excited right now because Brooke, who is our wonderful sponsor as always, absolute superstar. I'm going to intro Josh very soon, but she sent us through these new jumpers, and Josh is wearing his if you're watching through the screen. But I absolutely love him, and I just wanted to start the podcast by saying thank you so much, Brooke. You're an absolute superstar. I love the new jumpers, and of course, my best mate is with me as always. Josh, how you doing, mate?
Geez, that was a quick intro. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I am loving the jumpers though, mate. It's very nice and warm. It's actually been cold up here in Brizzy the last few days. It's like getting down to 8s overnight, so feeling the chill, mate, which is so it is nice to have these hoodies, these jumpers rock up this week, actually.
Super pumped, and I know my boys, my under-17 boys will be that pumped when I drop them off on Friday. So, Brooke, once again, I love you very much. Gonna deck them all out and get a nice group photo, which would be cool. I wanted to ask you a question before we talk about our weeks and our new segment, which is an exciting hit, the old Would You Rathers. What do you think of my haircut? Because
mate, I was spewing because I was going to bring it up, and when I saw it in the game, I was like, geez, he's gone aggressive there.
So what's your thoughts? Because the reason I ask, don't tell me anything yet, is I have had nothing but positive feedback. Like,
really?
I often get joked about with my hair and how I get it every 2 to 3 weeks when I'm in season and whatnot. And I never get like, oh, mate, your hair looks good. It's just like, oh, you got another haircut. Mate, the amount of compliments I got saying that it looks better than what it did before, unbelievable, mate. So can you tell me right now what your thoughts are, your honest thoughts?
It does make your head look a little bit more circular. I must say that. Like it's a little bowling ball. But it does. It actually does.
Yeah. Where's mate, the hat?
Because normally your hair, like you sort of cut it and it's a bit more boxed, whereas now it's a bit more circular. So I don't mind it. I was shocked when I watched the game the other night though and saw you running around with that aggressive haircut.
Well, yeah, that's fair, and I think considering you're my best mate, that's the advice that I'm after, not the old, oh mate, it looks unbelievable, but. It's fair to say that no one will ever be more shocked than what I was when you sent me a photo or you FaceTime me, whatever it was, and you were bald. You were bald and you had no hair. So to get that compliment that you gave me, not bad, mate.
Happy with that. It looks good, mate. You should be happy with it.
Thank you, mate. How's your week? How obviously outside of footy, how's your week?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We went to Adelaide Thursday, so it was a bit shorter in terms of the week itself, but since then, I went and watched the girls play netball on Saturday, which was good to be back at the netball. They played a pretty good game, didn't quite get the win, but really took it up to the sunny coast, which was nice. Hopefully, Tipper's back this week or next week from rehab, which is positive as well. So yeah, other than that, just hit a few golf balls on Sunday with Kaiser and Gus, and yeah, it was pretty chill. Other than that, mate, just been footy and getting ourselves back on track.
How's we'll touch on the footy side, obviously, because we both had shit losses, but we'll keep it pretty positive right now. How's your golf game going? Oh, sorry, is that a positive? I'm saying we're keeping it positive.
Well, mate, I actually had my first golf lesson last week. So I went to Royal Queensland Golf Club and saw a guy, Gibbo, down there who teaches professionals all around the world and gave me a few tips. So I was spending an hour with him and straight away changed my grip. So I've been using this new grip, and he said when you go out on the course for the first time to be wary that it might go backwards to go forwards, and it certainly did that, mate. I was so bad. I was so bad.
Really? Wow. How often are you getting these lessons?
I'm thinking I'm going to get maybe, let's say 4 or 5 total over the next 12 months, like once every few weeks. So then I can just get my technique and that right, and I can play with some of the boys and some of those golfers out there that are pretty good.
Well, that's nice, mate. I can't wait for you to whoop my ass when I get up to Queensland in the off season. So keep enjoying those lessons, mate. Nah, it's going to be annoying because it'll frustrate the heck out of me, even though I don't fancy myself at golf at all. But keep enjoying those lessons, mate.
I will, mate. I will. You'll have to join me when you come up.
I certainly will be joining you on those. So this is how a week will go. We'll go 3 a.m. wake up call for the NFL on Monday. Definitely have the afternoon nap because I'll be absolutely knackered. Make sure we wait around on Tuesday to watch the Tuesday morning game of NFL, and then we can go golf Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we'll go to the races on Saturday, and then we'll just repeat that. Sounds like a good off-season?
Love it. Sounds unreal to me, mate.
Would you rathers? Can we get into these would you rathers? Because
hang on. Before that, how was your week? You haven't told us how your week was, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to move it on. It wasn't that exciting. What did I do? What exciting thing did I do? Because we played on Thursday. Feels like forever ago. Well, we trained on Saturday, which is a nice little breakup of having a game on Thursday. So, mate? I literally did nothing. I got this beauty, the Nintendo Switch 2, which we were just talking about. So if Nintendo's watching our podcast, please don't be afraid to send out some content stuff of it because it is unbelievable, the Nintendo Switch. And I know Brado would be all about it. I know you wouldn't give a stuff about it. But been playing a bit of Nintendo Switch and basically it, mate. Didn't even have under 17s on Sunday because we had a bye. So my weekend was very, very, very low key.
Oh, that's good. It's interesting. It doesn't surprise me that you love a Nintendo Switch. I actually have played a bit of the Switch before. I just don't do it often. But it's funny you talk about gaming, mate. You talk about gaming, right? I want to know how many blokes your age would be right into their gaming like you are, do you think?
I think heaps. You know why?
Why?
My generation of people who grew up when I grew up, they played video games. So you never lose that want to play video games. And the only time I play video games is when I'm not doing anything or when I'm sitting here waiting to jump on the podcast and I'll just load the PlayStation up. Otherwise, when it's obviously like busy, when I've been playing, and there's short turnarounds and whatnot, don't get to play as much. But you would be surprised, mate. I feel like there'd be a lot of my generation. And you never played it growing up, did you?
Oh, no, we did play it growing up, but just not a lot. But are you a guy that would sit there and play for hours? Like, can you just play hours and hours?
No. I'm someone who could play for an hour, for max 2 hours if I'm playing with co-op with someone else. So if I'm playing FIFA, so I don't play shooting games. I don't like Fortnite. I don't like Call of Duty, like those shooting games that everyone plays. I've always been a guy that plays sport games. So sport games are my games. And two like role-playing games. So Grand Theft Auto, which you would have played, and Pokemon, which I'm sure you would have played as well.
Yeah, but I had the Game Boy thing.
Yeah, mate. I reckon I've got a Game Boy Advance lying around here somewhere. I've got one of these, which is the old Brado will know. This is the Nintendo 3DS. That's it, 3DS. So yeah, I love playing my video games.
Oh, that's so good.
Do you remember the time we played? I wish Kaiser was on to explain this. FIFA?
Oh, FIFA. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Oh, it would be funny because I don't play FIFA. FIFA's a game I'll only play if I'm playing with someone. Otherwise, I can't sit there and just play against computer. Anyway, funny story.
You're too good for it, eh?
Computer, 100%, mate. NBA 2K, NBA, FIFA, like, mate, I know the algorithms. I know what the computer's going to do. You put it on Legend or you put it on Hall of Fame. Nothing has changed from FIFA 25 all the way back to FIFA 05. It's all the exact same, mate. So computer is just too easy. But when it comes against people, I suck. Maybe that's why I don't play the online. But I love how we're just talking about video games. It's given me a bit of a pep in my step because I love
Yeah,
my
you
video
are.
games.
You are buzzing right now, mate. We need to move on because you're up and about.
I do love. If I could be, that's the next part. If I could make, if it could be a full-time job, like playing video games, I would do it. I'd certainly do it, 100%. I'd be a streamer if I could do it, but I just would suck. Anyway, all
Well,
good.
people might watch you.
Yeah. What, the rages, the one where I get angry, and because I'd certainly get angry. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm getting to the Would You Rathers. As I said, this is very popular last week.
Yep.
I've got a lot of good ones, but I'm only going to ask two. So I'm going to leave it to two. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
The first one. Would you rather not know what you're doing tomorrow for 10 years or know exactly what you're doing every day for the next 10 years?
Not know what you're doing tomorrow for the next 10 years or know exactly every day for the next 10 years. I'm probably going to say I'm a bit of an organizer, but then I don't mind. Actually, yeah, I like to be organized. So I'm going to say know what I'm doing every day for the next 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Stuff that. Like you, so you know. Oh, I mean, not that bad, but like, so you would know come, what day do you play this week? So you play
Saturday.
Friday? So you know on Friday whether you win or lose tomorrow because you know exactly what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm comfortable with that.
So what happens if it's a big final? You know you're going to lose the final.
Well,
You've
you're
got to
gonna
go
lose the
out there.
final.
Yeah, but you got to go out there and what's the point of playing? I'm going to lose anyway.
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully, because you know you're going to lose, you try and do something different to win.
Or what about if, like, not that knock on wood, you're pretty good with your injuries. What if there was a big injury happening the next day for you individually?
Oh, I'll just wrap myself up in cotton wool and hide.
Well, my answer would be the second part to that. Not know for what it's worth. Well, I just don't want to know. Thing is, I don't want to know if there's, for those examples that I just said to you, if I'm playing tomorrow, I don't want to know what the result is. Or, I don't know, if there's things that I look forward to, if there's things that I enjoy and coaching and whatnot, I don't want to know the result. I want to enjoy the process.
Okay.
If I'm,
That's all right.
watching the Stradbroke this week, which I cannot wait to watch, maybe there's a bit, maybe I would like to know. Well, it's a good one. This one's a great one. Ready? Because this is directed at me. Would you rather never see your best friend ever again or never speak to them ever again?
Never see your best friend again or never speak to them ever again. Oh. I reckon it would be never see. Never see.
Why? We could enjoy each other's company sitting in silence.
Well, we pretty much never see each other anyway. We just speak to each other.
That's true, but we do technically see each other.
Yeah, but I could, if this screen was black right now and I didn't see you and we were just talking, I'd still be happy, mate.
True. I reckon
if you can't speak to each other, that's genuinely like, that's just not it.
Yeah, but you can type. You can
so what? You're going to be sitting next to me. You're going to sit next to me, and I'm going to be like, "Hey, mate, how you going? Mate, who do you reckon this weekend?"
Mate, I think that'd be funny as. That'd be hilarious.
Nah.
All right. Well, I would go. I'm the opposite again. I'd say never speak because I'd like to see you in person. Imagine us going and watching the NFL and NBA and all this stuff together in person, but we just can't talk.
Yeah, that'd suck. Both would suck.
Anyway, let's move on to the footy. We'll talk about your game first, mate.
All right.
Run us through it.
Let's do it.
What's your thoughts? Because I know it's obviously a frustrating one.
Yeah, I'll start, mate. I'll start with the pre-game. So I don't know if you saw it on the TV, but the weather pre-game when I came out to
horrendous.
when we came out to warm up was like, I'm talking torrential rain and wind that I've never experienced on a footy field. And it was like, I don't know what the temperature was, but it was it was the coldest I've ever been on a footy field pre-game. Yep. Insane. Worse than some of the days in Ballarat where it's been sideways rain, but this was so cold because of the wind. Anyway, we got out there, we warmed up, and it was a bit like I was a 12-year-old kid again, mate, running around in Yarram because it was so cold. You just had to keep moving. And Noah Answorth and I were just doing strides up and down the square because we just had to keep on the move, and your body was so cold. So that was a good start. But the game itself was, I mean, I feel like if you're a spectator watching the game, you would have thought that we had control for most of it, and then let them back in that last quarter, which was disappointing. The 5 to 10 minute patch that they had. But if you look at the game as a whole, I think we walk away not content with it because we obviously lost, but all the areas that we wanted to achieve and win, we did. And, all the numbers showed that we probably should have won it. But like I said, at the same time, you are a little bit frustrated because you didn't get the 4 points. So from our point of view, we take a lot of confidence out of going down there and playing, arguably one of the best teams in the comp right now and, taking it right up to them on their home deck. So it was a positive, frame of mind from, after the game onwards, and even the review this week has been pretty good too. So, yeah, we look forward to hopefully bouncing back this week now.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt like that. Watching from home, it was almost like a matter of time before you guys it seemed to hit the front again in that last quarter. I know obviously Adelaide kicked those 2 to 3 goals early in the last quarter and then put the pressure back on you guys. So you're right. I mean, you definitely take it as a positive coming away from your game. I mean, as you said, very frustrating result for you. Is there, I guess, when you get to those situations in the last quarter where you're peppering and you're having shots and there was so many kickable goals. I mean, Rayner had a couple shots. Obviously, Zach Bailey had a few shots. Lockie Neal had a shot late. Like, do you have a sense when you're out there that, oh no, we're letting this slip? Or do you feel like you guys, what am I trying to say? Can you guys feel like that momentum and be like, come on, boys, we just need one more? Because it just looked like you were just riding this wave of momentum. And if there was 1 or 2 more minutes left in the game, like I still have no doubt, you probably would have had 2 to 3 more scoring shots. You guys were just dominating that last bit of the play.
Well, I think the numbers said that we had 20 inside 50s to 6 or something, or 8 that quarter. And we generated 17 shots from those 20 inside 50. So a lot of those, we scored 8 behinds. So a lot of those were out on the full, didn't make the distance, got spoiled through. But to answer your question, it's interesting because I feel like in those moments when you're coming and you know that you feel that you're coming, you're just sort of riding the wave. You're not really thinking about, oh shit, we need to put this goal through, or geez, we need to score here. It's more just playing the game out. You don't really know or feel like you're going to lose until the last 30 seconds when Bale's got that one on the far flank and, put it to the top of the goal square and they spoiled it through. That was probably the point where we were all like, oh shit, like we're done here. So not until the last seconds of the game that you really become a little bit disappointed because you're going to lose. Other than that, it's you're just riding that wave of momentum, which is pretty cool to feel.
Yeah, no, it certainly looked like that. And as I said, looked like you guys were just going to kick a goal if there was a couple more minutes left. But no doubt you take some momentum into the game this week, which would be an awesome challenge for you guys against the Giants.
Any other questions for me, mate? You want to move on to yours?
No, unless you've got anything. Is there anything you want to say from your game?
No, I was just going to talk about maybe role on Jordan Dawson on the night. Absolutely, and how that sort of transpired. But yeah, it was hard because I feel like these types of roles, mate, and people would play these roles and even be on the other end of it. Mate, he's a good player. He's a very good player. And I got to see that firsthand on the weekend. Like, levels of respect for him are just insane. Like his ability to to go both ways and impact in the air, even at ground level. The role that he plays for the Crows is like I got to see it firsthand on the weekend, and it was unbelievable. So I just sort of wanted to pump him up a little bit, and I know a lot of people are thinking of him think he's leading the Brownlow at the moment, and I think he'd be one of the most deserving winners because he plays that dual role of being the contested one, but also on the outside as well. So yeah, I just wanted to take my hat off to him and say that it was a really good battle.
Yeah, I love that by you, Joshy, because it takes a very, very good player for you to give a bit of praise like that, which I couldn't agree more. He is, I just didn't want to say it because I obviously know you were playing on him in the last quarter. I mean, you've done an unbelievable job up until three-quarter time, but, mate, he single-handedly put them on his back in that 5-minute stretch where they kicked goals. It almost looked like if it was freaking three of his playing on him, you wouldn't have been able to stop him. His aerial game, I feel like, whether it was respected, but like it's just gone to another level. Like his aerial game is unreal. Like you didn't really think he was that good in the air. Well, I certainly didn't. Whether that's just me being naive, but watching again, he was just unreal. And he's just such a beautiful decision maker. Like he gets the ball and he just makes the right decision every time he gets the ball. And there's no wonder he was made captain. I think he got made captain the first year he got there, didn't he? He
so.
did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's no wonder to me because he's just looks like an inspirational captain and someone you want to play for. But it's an enormous amount of credit that you give him, mate. So I applaud you.
No, I thought that was worth touching on before we moved on to your game. But your game Thursday night against the Hawks. Do you want to run us through how that was and how you felt being back out there?
Yep. It was frustrating, obviously very frustrating because we've, I talk about it like we're 6-6. Like we've been pumped up pretty hard. Not that the players talk about that at all. No one talks about it at all, but we see it here in Melbourne and the way people talk about it. And to me, it's like, it's not, it's not fair to the other teams that are ahead of us. Like the reality is we're 6-6 and we're letting these games where we're playing against quality opposition slip. Like we haven't beaten, I don't think we've beaten a top 8. So we're beating the Giants who are top 8. Outside of that, we haven't beaten a top 8 side. So that's really frustrating. I know that frustrates a lot of us. And, it's just another opportunity that we felt let slip. And it's off the back of what's really hurt us historically, and that's 5 to 10 to 15 minutes of a quarter. And in this case, it was the first quarter. I mean, the margin's 22 points in the end, but we were down 30-something to 7 at quarter time, which is basically the ball game there. So just can't have that. And that's the frustrating thing. I feel like a lot of our errors, a lot of us, reason why we don't win is because it's our own fault. And in saying that, there's no discredit at all to Hawthorn, not whatsoever. They were awesome. Their pressure was awesome. They said they were going to bring it. They brought it. Their contest was elite and relentless, which was credits to them. And they showcased why they're such a good side. But you go back and watch a lot of our footy, we really let ourselves down with execution and how we want to move the footy and whether we, make the right decision with ball in hand. If guys potentially are going for harder kicks or harder handballs than what they probably necessarily should be. Stuff that we haven't really been doing all year, we kind of did. So that's the frustrating bit. There's always positives from a game. I look at a lot of positives. I look at obviously Rory Lobb and his ability to impact both ways. Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow, but the big Sammy Darcy's a massive chance to come back for us, which is going to be huge for us. And our forwards in general. We're still able to get some shots on goal. We just weren't able to score. So very frustrating, very, very frustrating night, but still got to obviously stay positive and look forward to what we have up ahead of us.
How did you feel being back out there, mate? You scared us all a little bit early on with the little quad or knee or whatever happened to you. But, geez, the amount of messages I got and the boys were like, oh, no, Adsy's gone. Because I was getting a massage and I had it on my phone and then I was getting up and getting changed and I was like, oh, no, what's happened to the big fella?
Yeah. No. I've just got to far out. The one game I played this year, I landed on my knee in a tackle outside of my knee. So it's just like a bruise, like it's one of those things where you land on it, it's just always going to be sore. So that's basically what I did. And it was just a stinger, basically. So, outside of that, like I'm just grateful to be back out there. I really was, really am. I certainly don't take for granted being able to run back out there. I'm a competitor and I love being out there. I can get frustrated sometimes because I know that, I'm getting managed and obviously not where I want to be clearly because I've only played 2 games and even, as I said, from a management point of view, there's going to be times where I spend time on the bench and whatnot. So put all that together, the competitor in me always wants more, but it's been easy for me to sit back and like really enjoy it. And the fact that I was out there, anyone who knows me and knows me intimately and personally knows that I take losses or have taken losses really hard before in my whole career. And really the last year and certainly this year and even on the weekend, like it doesn't hit me as hard. It does. Don't get me wrong. Like I obviously hate losing. I hate losing. But it's easy for me to be like, okay, well, this is where we lost. We've got to move on. Like, and that's kind of where it's at for me. Like I'm just grateful to be back out there. I'm grateful that the coaches back me in and they want me to be in the side. So hopefully I can just keep building from an individual point of view and I can keep helping complement the boys because what is going well, mate, and I'll always touch on this, is our midfield is going really well. Like we were really good around the ball again. Ed Richards is arguably the best player in the comp at the moment. Obviously, Matt Kennedy has been an unbelievable recruit for us. So yeah, for me to be able to go in with the other mids and hopefully complement them, that's what I'll look to do going forward, and hopefully that can continue this week.
No, I'm sure I speak on behalf of a lot of people, mate. It's great to see you back out there, and I'm sure week to week now you're just going to be getting better and better. So fingers crossed, you're humming around when we play up here because I want to play against you. It'd be nice.
Yeah, me too, mate. I did want to say I didn't miss. I copped a lot of love. There's a lot of people that gave me a lot. I was very thankful for everyone, but I had one bloke absolutely spray me on socials, called me a disgrace, told me I should retire, told me I should hang the boots up. I'm not going to name and shame because I'm not about that, but that person knows who he is and he should be better because this is a big part of AFL players' lives is their social media and how players really battle with mental health. And speaking of mental health, we're going to have a great guest on a bit later, but it's just not fair. And I'm biting my tongue in a way because I would love to name and shame this bloke, but I'm just not about it because I just don't need to because I know he'll cop hate, especially from my friends in particular. To you, mate, be better. But otherwise, thanks everyone for the love they gave me.
No, it's shocking, that stuff. I hate it too, mate. It's definitely something that as a professional athlete, we've got to deal with, and you can't really do anything about. So the fact that you're speaking about it's it's good. I think it's good. There needs to be an awareness thing that people understand. So we'll move on to the rest of the round. There was some good games, mate. Is there anything that caught your eye from the rest of the round of footy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first thing is there wasn't much scoring. I would almost think it was one of the lowest scoring rounds. Like I'm talking, well, obviously go back 100 years ago. Like I'm talking of the last freaking 40 years. Like it was not one team scored more than 81 points.
80. Yeah.
Hawthorn scored 81. So that was the first thing 81. I noticed on the Saturday in particular. But
why do you reckon that is?
Oh, obviously, I think weather plays a part. So all 3 games on Saturday, there was where conditions were pretty bad. But I obviously certainly think there's a lot of defensive tactics in our game. What do you think?
It's actually it's a great point that you bring that up. Like I think for sure the defensive stuff, like we're at the time now, last week was round 13. We're at round 14 this week, and teams have now figured out how other teams are playing and what plans they put in place over the off season. And it's a great point by you. I actually really like that because it's people can see tactically now that teams are doing little things to stop oppo teams from using their weapons. And like the Geelong Gold Coast game, that surprised me. Like 37 points Gold Coast kicked, and they average I think 100 from from all reports. So, or close to it. So, yeah, really good point. I like that.
Yeah, well, it certainly is the tactic side. I think teams scout opposition now so well that you just want to take away strengths of the opposition. And
Yep.
again, I reckon it was a bit to do with the weather because your game was wet. All the Saturday games were wet. The MCG Sunday night was wet, and then yesterday's game was wet. So then, yeah, you then look at our game, 59 to 81 under the lights of Marvel is a little bit of a surprise because we're both high scoring sides.
Yeah.
But no, it was that's mainly what caught my eye. I mean, other than the Magpies, they're just. I mean, I think they're what are they 6 points clear on top. They are just so good. I just can't speak more highly of them and Pendles and Howie and Steelo, like these guys that get written off at the start of the year after round one are now 6 points clear, middle part of the year. Like it just speaks volumes of all their players, and I thoroughly enjoy watching the boys play. And what a great win again for them. I mean, Melbourne really fought hard, but yeah, I just think they're so good at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. They are looking very good. One thing that caught my eye on the weekend, and I want to get your opinion, it's a bit controversial, but it's about players manipulating free kicks. I reckon we've talked about it before, and this is why I feel like it's so hard for umpires to umpire the game, is because every time there's a rule change or there's something that's brought into the game, a different perception, something the umpires are looking at and trying to, fix or whatever it is, players then do their research. They go to work on certain techniques that might help them win a free kick for their team. Do you think that this is a genuine thing and a potential issue for the game?
When you're going into a contest, like what are you thinking? Tell me, the ball's there's a contest, you might be someone coming your way, or actually, no, let me rephrase that. The ball's there, a contest is going to happen, but you've got the first hands to the ball, so you've got the ball in your hand. Like, what are you thinking?
I'm straight away thinking about where I can get rid of the ball too. Like, where's my teammate standing or what voice can I hear? So if I see a gap, then I'll probably fire it out that gap. If not, then I'm probably trying to stand up and drive my legs a little bit more.
Tackle.
Yep. I'm not really thinking about trying to draw a free kick in that scenario.
Yep. Well, yeah, and I'm with you. Like, there's definitely players manipulating it, and they're trying. And as I say this, good on you. You've got the ability to do that. So, good on you that you think about it. So, to answer your question, do I think it's becoming an issue? I don't think it's becoming an issue because I don't know. I just don't think it's that unless there's a controversial free kick or player that's constantly getting it in positions where it's benefiting his team. I can't really recall times when that has happened, like late in the game or when there's a free kick on the line, because the umpires tend to put the whistle away, which is great. But in terms of players and players watching other players, does it get frustrating to see? Oh, certainly does. Like you see it and it's like, I used an example on the weekend in our game. We know Hawthorn have a great ability to get those free kicks. They're very good at driving underneath the tackle and getting a high tackle and whatever it may be. And we spoke about it as a group for the game. Obviously look for the tackle. I reckon 30 seconds in the game, free kick, shot on goal. It's frustrating, but we know that. We know that as players. So we've got to be better. The ones that are tackling these guys are going at these guys. So I don't know if that really answers anything, but it's a good talking point.
No, it's good because I've been thinking about it over the last few days, and even watching from afar this year, I reckon that it's definitely evident that players are trying to manipulate it a little bit. So my question to you now is: do you think then, if an umpire sees a player drop his head or lift his arm, then it should be play on, or it should be prior, and then you get holding the ball if you get tackled?
Yeah, I think it should be. So if he sees it, it's the prior. So it has to be the prior stuff. It's not an instant free kick, like dropping the ball, holding the ball. It's got to be. It's just got to be, in my opinion, played as if it's like a normal tackle where the person's had a chance to get rid of the ball. That's my thoughts.
Yep.
What do you
Because
think?
then if there's a free against the person that is doing it, the player that's doing it, then they're not going to do it for much longer because they're going to get frees against them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I think.
And look, it's just going to. I think umpires do a good job. Like, I think they. Like,
Yeah, it's
it'd be so
hard,
hard
mate. It
for
would be
them. Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah. And whether or not they get like heads up on the players. You know, I don't know if they get told before the game, oh, look, this certain player here raises his arm. Like, I'm sure they do. Like, they probably know. I mean, we've seen a bit with obviously Jack Ginnivan when he first got drafted to obviously now he gets umpired pretty harshly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly a talking point. It's a good one because I'd love to know what all players think. I'd love for it to be like a poll and every player write in what their thoughts are.
It would be good. All right, we're rambling on a little bit, but let's go into our Bloom and Dunklor award before we get into our segments, our other segments for the week. What's your 3-2-1 for this week, mate?
I'm giving an honourable mention to Brodie Grundy, who I thought was exceptional against a very good Richmond side who started really well. Zach Butters is another honourable. I just got to mention him because he dominated. But my 3-2-1. My one goes to Tom DeConing. I just thought Max Gorn the other day said, was it Max Gorn who said he could be the ruck goat? And that's a big that's a big call from probably the ruck goat. So Tom DeConing, I just thought was enormous Sunday night. To my boy Jeremy Howe, who I've mentioned a few times, but he's just, mate, he's playing, I wouldn't say career best footy because he's had like elite seasons where he should be an All-Australian. There was 2 to 3 years in my mind where he should have been an All-Australian. But he's playing some special footy. And my 3 goes to Max Holmes from Geelong, who just stood out. Like, the reason why he gets the 3 is because he just stood out. And I love, there's a saying, I don't know the exact saying, but it's something like the cream rises to the top in the wet, because slippery ball, you know, the guys that are highly skilled, they stand out, and he just stood out from the start of the game to the end in that game. So Max Holmes gets my 3.
Like it. All right, I'll whiz through mine. I've got 1 vote to Brodie Grundy. You mentioned him already. 2 votes to Jeremy Howe. Completely agree with you. And 3 votes to Brian Myers from Geelong. Instead of Max Holmes, I've gone Brian Myers. So I reckon I've talked about it before on here. He's one of the most valuable players to have in your team. I think if we had him in our teams, I bet you any money that we would love him. Like, he's such a crafty player, but I feel like he would bring a lot too from an off-field sense. So yeah, credit to him the way he's playing this year, and he's been playing the last few years. He's definitely making the Cats 10 times better with his ball use.
It certainly is, and I couldn't agree more with everything you've said. And I love that. I'm going to keep remembering you when we did our top 8 prediction, and you were surprised with me and my call on Geelong, how I didn't have them as high as you, and how you said they're going to be so good, mate. They are, in my mind, right up there with Collingwood at the moment. So, and Brian Myers is a huge part of that. So I love it, mate.
All right, let's move on to our segments of the week. So we'll get on to our Brooks Bloom. We actually normally do this at the start, mate. We forgot it tonight. So
we do.
Let's get into our Brooks Bloom of the week, and thank you to Brooke for all her support.
Yes, Brooke, and thank you once again. I love these jumpers. My one is James McDonald, the jockey.
The jockey.
So reason is I think he needs 2 more Group 1 wins. So this is kind of like Brooks Bloom jockey watch.
Okay.
So I think he needs 2 more Group 1 wins in the season, and the season ends obviously I think the season starts in spring. So it ends basically towards the start of spring, and he breaks the record for most Group 1s in a season. The crazy thing is he's already 4th in a season. So I don't know what year it was, but he had 14 wins, which puts him 4th for a season. So he's currently on 15, I think it is. I think he needs to have 17 wins by the end of the season to break the record. So James McDonald, I seen it the other day, and I'm on James McDonald watch because he's a superstar jockey, and I love knowing he's on one of your horses if you're on one of those horses. So James McDonald's mine.
All right, love it. I'll go through mine. Mine is another Netflix show. So went to Adelaide on the weekend. Long trip for us. It's about 3 hours to get down there and 2.5 back.
Mhm.
So I watched a lot of TV shows, and I watched this show called Department Q on Netflix. It's ranked. You know how you get TV shows of the week or whatever it is? It's ranked 3 in that, and it's quality, mate. So for those out there that want a Netflix show to watch, easy watch, Department Q is the one. So that's my Brooks
I love
Boom of
it.
the week.
I have seen that. I have seen a little bit of a preview of it, so that's cool.
All right, moving on to our next segment of the week, our tab tip of the week, mate. We're going to go against each other this week. So we're going to Queensland, Brisbane Racing. The Stradbroke is on this weekend. Who have you got? Who do you think? Who do you like in this one?
Well, I just think the favourite's too good. War Machine. Plain and simple. War Machine, I just think is going to dominate from start to finish. I like Rise at Dawn. I did initially say to you, Rise at Dawn was my first tip because I know you like long shots, although he's not a long shot. But War Machine's for me.
I like that. So I'm going to go against you because I love doing that. It's nice to be competitive. But I'm going to go on a guy that you were just talking about, J-Mac. He's on the back of Rothfire this weekend in the Stradbroke.
Yep.
So Rothfire for me each way is going to be my tip of the week. But before we move on, I just want to say, obviously, big thank you to Tabin for all their support. But also, mate, we've been pretty average on our same gamers and our tips of the week. Last week was no good. I think we had one leg got up out of the 3.
Well, I think that's a bit of an insight to our listeners in us and our same gamers. So just don't follow. Just have a laugh when you hear it and then move on.
No, you got to get around us, mate. You got to get around us. One of us is going to get there this weekend.
I hope so.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, we'll move on. Now, we'll get to our tips, Adzi. Let's go into our tips for the round of AFL this week.
Yep, let's smash through these. So we play Thursday night. So obviously we'll move on to the Friday, which is Hawthorn Adelaide in Tasmania. It's a great game. Who you got?
Yep. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I think they've found their form. They're going to get down to Tassie where they play a lot of games and get the job done.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's a surprise to me because they are your boys, but I agree with you. I think Hawthorn. Another good game. You boys, Brisbane Giants. We'll move on to the other game. So Essendon, Geelong, MCG.
I think the Cats will get this one done at the G.
Yep, I do too. Geelong, can't tip against them. North Melbourne in, I believe, another home game, which is crazy. Another home game for North at against Freo at Optus Stadium Saturday night. Who are you thinking?
Yeah, and that game that they played against the Eagles last week was a pretty good game. I was following the scores and the momentum swings in that game was enormous. But I'll tip the Dockers in this one. I think they've found some form. They had a really good win. They've been in some really good form over the last few weeks, and I feel like they'll get the job done.
Yep. As we brush through the tip, last two, Georgie's going to be just anyone watching the YouTube stream. Georgie's right here. Adelaide Sunday night. In Adelaide on Sunday. Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. Who are you thinking?
Good game. Good game of football, this one. I'll tip Port at home. I think their crowd will turn up and this will be a cracker. And I think Port will get the job done.
Yeah, I'm going to go Melbourne. Yeah, I think they're playing really good footy. And to round out the round, Optus Stadium, West Coast versus Carlton.
Tip the Blues over there in Perth. I think they'll be too good there.
Same. I'll go the Blues. Our games. St Kilda, we play the Saints Thursday night. Obviously, we've played them earlier this year, and we had a really good win against them, so we've got no doubt that they're going to really build themselves up for this week. They've had a week off, and prior to that, they had a really good win against Melbourne in Darwin. So, just going to expect what their strengths are and expect they're going to try and bring those, and we just have to start better, mate. We didn't start the game against Hawthorn well, and that's been something that we need to do going forward. So we've got to start well, and hopefully we can and get the job done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I think it'll be a good game. Marvel Stadium makes it hard for the Saints, I think. I think you boys play Marvel unbelievably well, even though you did lose last week to the Hawks there. But I just feel, you make it, it's a bit of this is an away game for you guys, but it's a bit of a home game feel. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great game of footy and, one I'll be definitely tuning into.
Thanks, mate. You boys play Saturday, 1:20, great time slot. It means you can go out for dinner and enjoy the night. You got the Giants. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they'd be disappointed. I watched their game on Saturday night last week against Port. They'd be disappointed in that result, I'm sure. So they'll be coming up here with a full head of steam. And, us is another, I was talking about it earlier, but I feel like the way that we played last week, if we can get back to some of that, then hopefully we can make it hard for them. The contest is obviously where they pride themselves, and from our point of view, they're really good with their ball use as well out of their back half. So got to be able to stop them there. It's a bit of a rivalry game given the final last year as well. So it's going to be a great test for us, and really looking forward to it.
I look forward to it too, mate. Obviously, as I said to you a couple of weeks ago, they win, lose, and usually going off that, they lost last week. So no doubt they'll build themselves up against you boys. But it's going to be a good game. Can't wait. 1:20 slot, as I said, it's a good time slot.
All right, Adsy, moving on from this week's games, we'll get into my segment, my curly question of the week. And this one is from Sharon and Lambert, actually sent this through. So here it is. Imagine you are out with your partner and you run into someone that you should know their name, but you can't think of it. You know it's polite to introduce them to your partner, but you just can't think of their name. Do you, say g'day? Do you say g'day, mate, and forget the introduction altogether? Or B, admit you have forgotten their name, apologize, and ask their name so you can do the introductions?
This is great. This is great.
Yes.
Because this is my thought process, because I find myself in this position many times because I'm horrendous with names. I will always say, g'day, mate. Good to see you. This is my partner, Kim. And then what I then hope.
Then there's awkward silence.
No. What I then hope is, say the guy's name's Matt. I then hope goes, g'day, Kim. My name's Matt. Nice to meet you. Rather than me going, hey, Kim, this is Matt. Matt, this is Kim. It's like, hey, mate, this is my partner, Kim. And then Kim will be like, hello. And then he'll be like, Matt, do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to say because I do exact same, mate. If I forget someone's name, I'm like, g'day, this is Tipper. And then Tipper, I just hope Tipper goes, hi, I'm Tipper. And then he goes,
what do you do? What do you do if Tipper goes, hi?
I don't know.
I just do those ones? I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Brado, what do you do?
I'd just run all the way home if that happened. If you introduce, because I do the same thing. You introduce your partner, and then they introduce themselves, and then you get the name that way. But if they just said hi, I'd just slowly start walking off, and then go into a jog, and then just full sprint off over the horizon, never to be seen again. They'll never see me. You'll be on, Crime Stoppers. You'll be on posters, milk cartons. They'll never see me again. I'll get the first flight out of here, and I'll be in Colombia somewhere selling coffee beans to the locals. You'll never see me again.
The embarrassment. Good. You got anything for us, Brado, before we wrap up? We missed your voice.
I did have two things. I'll start with Dunks. Dunks said that, and I've often thought this. You say, players listen out for teammates' voices, when they're, dunks. And then you go, that's my teammate. And then you blind handball it to them or you dish it out of there. One, has anyone ever tried to trick you? Like, obviously, Ads comes up and goes, dunks. And then you give it to him and you go, shit. Or have you just been tricked in general where someone calls it out, you handball it off to them and then you realise that you've given it to just an opposition?
It's a great question. It's funny because on the weekend, Benny Keys was doing it to, I think it was Froggy, Ryan Lester. So he was like, there was a contest and it was Froggy, Tex, and me, and then Keezy was on the outside, and he was calling it for the ball off Froggy, and it was like because they used to play together, obviously. So that kind of thing I feel like does happen. The only other one I've known to happen is Harley Reid called for a handball off Charlie Cameron, I think 2 years ago when we were playing West Coast over in Perth, and Charlie went to handball it to him, but then saw it was him and got 50 metres anyway. So I reckon it does happen.
That's pretty cool.
It would have to happen. And then I was thinking ads, obviously you got your what did you get? Your Switch 2. Just in general, we like to do the rankings. They're big on TikTok. I just want to give your top 5 games of all time.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. So
any games.
Not consoles. Not consoles games.
Like any games. Not board games, not card games. Like video games.
Okay. Oh,
introduce it to, say, my top 5 games, starting at 5.
5 games. All right. I'm going to go AFL Live 2004. I loved it. Smashed it.
That was my favourite too.
Thought it was one of the great games.
Uncorking the Genie.
So that's 5th. 4th is Uncorking the Genie. Well done, Brado. Sorry, that was Josh. That's a commentary from one of the commentators. Number 4 is NBA 2K11. Michael Jordan on the front. Number 3 is Pokemon Gold. Great game.
What was your starting Pokemon?
I always used I would complete the game and then I'd just go again and use the other stuff. So I used all of them. I can't really give you an answer. My number 2 is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Oh, good. Where you could go backstage.
Yep, which is wrestling. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Number 1 best game of all time. GTA San Andreas. My favorite game of all time.
Classic.
Can you quickly name me yours top 5, please, Brado?
I thought you were going to ask Dunks, and I did the liberty of picking out a couple for him. Like obviously, Farm Simulator 2020, absolute classic.
Yes, Farm Simulator.
Stardew Valley.
Yes, that's like friggin' Farm Simulator anyway.
That's about all I had. I was just trying to think of farming games. I played that Farm Simulator with a mate of mine, and he'd pull the tractor up and you'd load it full of like pallets of tomatoes or whatever. Jeez,
have you seen that game, Josh?
Stuff.
Have you seen Farm Simulator game?
No, I've seen those ones that pop up on like socials, like that you sort of find yourself watching, like the farm one where I don't even know what it's called. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it'll be the one we're talking about, I reckon.
You do some good simulator ones. There's lawn mowing simulator where you ride your lawn mower around the backyard. It's classic.
Brado, there is many simulator games out. You think of it, it'll be a game.
It's good. Instead of actually just going to work, you can just simulate it from home for no money. It's great.
Zoo Tycoon, run your own zoo. Roller Coaster Tycoon, run your own.
There's a game for everyone.
We should probably wrap this up because we have gone forever.
I didn't have the heart to tell you guys, but this is actually a podcast simulator and we haven't actually been doing a real podcast. This is all just a game. We're in the Matrix.
In that case, see you later.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Hey, you mentioned earlier in the podcast, Adsy, that we're going to get a special guest on to talk all things mental health. That guest is Tommy Boyd, and we are going to do a bit of a different thing this week. We're going to drop it a couple of days later, so it's going to be its own episode. So if you're keen to listen to the Ads and Dunks cross Tommy Boyd collab podcast, then stay tuned in a couple of days' time. But we'll wrap it up there, mate. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next week.
You too, mate. All the best. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Brooks Blooms, your all-in-one landscaping solution.
Brooks Bloom's 3-step landscaping experience offers a seamless journey from design to construction and ongoing care, ensuring your outdoor space thrives year-round.
Visit brooksblooms.com today to embark on your landscaping journey where every step is a step towards a vibrant and beautiful outdoor entertaining space.